We can't do presence. Doing presence is going down the avenue of practicing a technique, if you like, practicing mindfulness. And whilst there's a value in that, and I'm not going to go down that road, but I will just say that often mindfulness is the practice of being attentive to something, attentive to our feelings, attentive to sensations, attentive to sounds. It tends to be a focusing in. One can also be attentive to silence, but even that is a kind of narrowing of the true essence, the true texture of presence. So in that sense, it's not a doing, it's not something you can do. What is it then? Presence is a recognition, a texture of the texture of beingness that is always here. It doesn't increase or decrease. It's not something you add to by doing some kind of practice. And it's not actually something that can be diminished. Presence is always the same in terms of quantity. It's not really quantifiable, but let's say it's infinite. It has been so ever since we have been born, right up until we die, and prior to birth, and after death. It's always here. So whilst it's not added to or taken away from, it can be occluded, obscured. And that's the place we need to examine to see what obscures it. What obscures is our labeling of our experience. Labeling, constant naming and labeling. Yeah. So we often have this idea that if I was more present, there would be no thoughts. Thinking would stop. Uncomfortable feeling would stop. So all these seeming problems, of discomfort or pain or intensity or, thought activity would come to an end. So we kind of think that presence will be just some kind of empty space where I don't feel anything, where I'm not bothered by anything, where, it's just this sort of pristine spaciousness. That's what happens when we try to practice presence in a meditative state. And then there's this attempt to get rid of thought activity, stop it somehow, focus only on the space, the gap in between thinking. And again, whilst there's a value in this, it's not the whole story. The recognition of presence is not equatable with the negation of thought, nor the negation of feeling, nor the negation of sensation, nor the negation of anything. The many energies, waves, textures that we experience as human beings whilst we're alive. It is not a negation of that. And at the same time, the attention on the experience, on the thought activity, on the feeling activity, on the sensation activity, and the labeling of that is what occludes the recognition of presence.